Alrighty. All right, here we go. Whew. Peace and welcome to Moorish Heritage and History School. We start each class by reading chapter 25 of the Holy Quran, divinely prepared by Prophet Noble Drew. If you are in agreement, after I finish reading, affirm by saying Islam. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother had given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers and sisters, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him out. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole nation, and his continue to you all in your love to each other. All right, Islam. Whew. How many, I know I say this every week, but sort of like routine. How many people checked out the blog talk or the broadcast last night? No one? How many of you know about the broadcast? See, if you want to get in, you got to call before 9:30. If you call at 9:30 or close to 9:30, you're not going to be able to get in. You aren't? But what you was calling? On the internet? Oh, really? Was it maybe it was your computer? Oh, you was trying to listen through your phone on the computer. I mean, through the internet. Oh, yeah, that might have been a little bit tricky right there. Well, last night we talked about government is not business, and we specifically as a people are absolutely confused about that. We don't understand who government is. We don't understand what government is. And we don't understand that government and business do not go together. They don't. There's a lot of Moors that's like trying to, they keep talking about the commerce end of things, but this is not about commerce. This is about birthright theft. This is about, attempting to denationalize you. And I say attempting because there's no way that anyone can really denationalize you if you know what birthright and nationality is all about. You follow me? Denationalize, you can use the word, but it's impossible. There is only a mental attempting, there's only an attempt to denationalize you mentally, because you can never be denationalized physically for real, because you would have to be unborn in order for that to happen, and that's not possible. Once you're here, you're here. That's it, period. So denationalization is just a mental thing, but this whole thing is about controlling the mind, right? That's right. This is all about mental conditioning. This is all in your mind, and I know I'll say that, and there will be some people, I hear the cacklings already, even though they're not physically here, but I hear the cacklings already that it's not in your mind. If I cut myself, I bleed, right? Right? If you cut yourself, you bleed, right? That's it. How many people know about hypnosis? If you are hypnotized and you are given the suggestion that if I cut you, you're not going to bleed, you won't bleed. So it's not physical, is it? If you wear glasses and can't see, and I hypnotize you and take your glasses off until you have perfect vision, you will be able to see as far as the eye can see and beyond. But it's physical, right? They had an what?
Had the metal.
Oh, through his body? Yes.
Make sure it wasn't around.
Yes. Yes.
Passed the metal straight through his body.
Was he hypnotized?
Yeah,
He was hypnotized because exactly. Now the point I'm making when I get into this is all in our minds. And I know there's some people who are saying, well, you know, I was just tackled to the ground and, you know, my jaw was broken or something. Is all of that in my mind too? It is, because everything is manifested in the mind. How many people remember this movie, Species? Remember the movie Species? You remember when the girl got hit and they took her to the hospital? She had like a broken collarbone and something else was broken, and she was out. But when she woke up, she looked at these things and just shrugged it off, and then it was all back to normal, like nothing had ever happened. We can do that because everything is in the mind. This is all of the Prophet Noble Ali said, I come to free you from your mental slavery. That's what it's all about, mental slavery. Because we manifest our world based on what we think. That's why you have to be very, very, very careful what you listen to and what you watch in terms of the television, and also some of the people that you may hang around from time to time, because that all conditions your mind, all of it. If you, how many people listen to the radio? Listen to the so-called music of today? What's your relationships like? Are they good? Are they great? Are they fantastic? No, right? You know why? Because every so-called music of today sings and speaks about horrible relationships. And we just be thinking, well, it's just a beat, man. It's just a beat. No, it's the words. Because the words, you're singing them, and you don't even pay attention to what it is you're singing. And if you really was to stop and pay attention to some of the words that you're saying, you will find why you have absolutely crappy relationships. You will find why when you're walking down the street, you'll be afraid or apprehensive of things, because it's all in the music. Some of these TV shows, you will watch them. I don't watch, occasionally I'll watch a movie because it's got a message. But I like watching documentaries because they're very informative, very interesting, right? And I can form my own opinion because they're just giving me massive amounts of information, and I can take it and look it up and form my own opinion. So I do a lot of documentary watching these days, all right? And believe it or not, if I want to put my brain on pause, I'll watch something like Rio or Monster Inc. or Frozen, the cartoons, children cartoons. I mean, there are messages in there as well, but they're so not violent, and they don't promote crappy relationships. They don't promote a crappy attitude. They don't promote, like, crappy whatever. So everything begins in the mind. And I got to tell you, I remember, this has probably happened to some of you. Have you ever been traveling? You've gone to New York, Philadelphia, wherever. You're just traveling, you're playing your music and you're bopping and everything, right? And you're not thinking about the insurance or registration of your automobile, right? Because you know it's paid up and everything, right? Until you just so happen to look at it and realize it expired 2 months ago. Now remember, for 2 months, you were so fine traveling. Is it a mental conditioning? All of a sudden you find out that the insurance and the registration has expired, and if you even travel down the street, you're apprehensive. But for 2 months you were traveling and it was suspended and you didn't know, and you was fine. You see what I'm saying? It's a mental conditioning. We have all been mentally conditioned to believe that we are supposed to register our personal property and put some maritime ship insurance on it and have the license of a chauffeur as though we are engaging in commerce. We've all been mentally conditioned to do that to the point where they don't even have to put up checkpoints or stop you or anything like that, because they already know we're going to go and get it. We're going to make sure that it's registered and insured. We're going to make sure we got these licenses on us. We're going to follow what we have been mentally conditioned to believe is the rule, or the law, I should say, which is really a rule, right? We do that. How many people here, how many knew to go and get a license? How did you find out you had to have a license? Did somebody tell you? Did you read it somewhere?
School.
School? How did you find that out in school? Well, that's driver's ed. That's just courtesy, road courtesy. That doesn't necessarily imply you got to go get a license or a registration.
That's how I apply.
What? Word of mouth. So you see what I'm saying? He got mentally conditioned, and he passed it on to her, and she passed it on to you, and you, and you, and you. Nobody ever stopped, right? Nobody ever stopped and said, can I please see the law that says that I have to do this? No one ever stopped, right? Myself included. I never did it. There was times, one of the occasions I went to the Department of Motor Vehicle, and I asked them for the documentation. I want to know, what are the terms and conditions? I want to know what I got to do, what I can't do. I don't want to be, breaking the law. And the girl actually says, well, you got to go get that from your legislature. I haven't found a copy of the law yet. I'm looking. I haven't found a copy of it yet. But I said all that to bring in this article that was in the, it was on the internet. I don't know if it's in a newspaper, but I just want to read it to you because, we've been, trying to look at a way to be proactive where our right to travel is concerned. How can we sue a corporation, because that's what the county, city, town, township, boroughs are. They're all corporations. Do the research. They're not even trying to hide it. It's right up there on the World Wide Web, published, all right, published, incorporated on what date. And if they're not incorporated, if you see the word founded, established, founded, established, and there's a third one. I got to write this down. Founded, established, settled, that's telling you that a company was started. They might not have incorporated, but a company was started. Every single county, city, town, township, borough that we have all been mentally conditioned to believe is some form of government is nothing more than a corporation. They were established here to engage in trade. That's what they were began as, and that's what they still are today. The only difference between then and now is they do not have a product or a service. The product is you, and the service managing you. And you get the privilege of paying for that in some form or fashion. Absolutely unconstitutional. Absolutely. And we all have been mentally conditioned to go along with it because we have never once asked the question, can I see the law? Can I see the documentation where it says that I am compelled literally to give up my unalienable rights to travel? Where is that written? Because your right to travel is constitutionally, naturally secured, right? You know your right to work is secured as well. You know that? Now, if your right to work is secured, don't you have to get from your home to the work? So now, between you leaving home and getting to work, if they have stolen your right to travel, you can't. You're being hindered from contracting for just compensation, right? Right? Now, also, that means that you can't provide for your family, right? That would be a form of genocide. We have so much ammunition when it comes to our rights to travel, it's ridiculous. When it comes to anything, it is ridiculous. And the only reason that we voluntarily give up our rights is because we don't comprehend law. We don't know law. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but the days of when we say things like, well, you know, I've been mentally enslaved for 300-400 years, and that's why I am the way I am, we got to let that go. It's not new. I don't know anybody who does not know that they have been mentally enslaved. And so everybody seems to know about this 300-400 years of mental slavery, and we talk about it every February 1st, like it's our history. It's not. That's Paleo History Month. We're not Paleos. We are Moors, right? We're Moors. So that's not our history. I'm not claiming it, because it's not even talking about us. We were never the people that came over here on boats. If you read their Declaration of Independence, they're telling you they're the people that came over on boats. That's not even us. All right? So, but we've been mentally conditioned to believe a lot of things that do not apply to us. It's not true. It's not factual. And we have brothers, family, that has already done much of the research to prove that, and have gone in front of Congress and put it down to the point where they are changing. They have changed, not they are changing. They have changed the congressional records. Ivan Van Sertima. We as a people need to be watching him, listening to him over and over and over and over again. Our children, that's our history right there. If we want to send our children to school, put them in front of the TV and put on Ivan Van Sertima. There you go. They know all of their, they will get some idea of their history. Put on Sheikh Anta Jock, all right? Put on, what's the one I was looking for? I'm listening to just recently. Ben Yosef Yakanan. Ben Yosef Yakanan. I love his energy, but with all of these master scholars who tell you who you are, it would be a good exercise to look up some of the facts that they're telling you, just for your own edification. Just don't take nothing on face value. Just don't take anything and run with it. Now, much of what they have said, I already knew, but it was so refreshing to hear somebody from a scholarly position put it all together and bring it in front of Congress. That's Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. I've been saying for years that we were already here. Most Moors have been saying for years that we were already here. We didn't come over in no millions and trillions that they talk about. And if you want the breakdown of that, find somebody who has Slavery Myth by Valera, all right? She tears it up. I know I have it at home. I don't have a copy of it. I have a, let me see. I got a copy of the DVD. That thing right there, Slavery Myth by Valera, to be specific. Queen Valahara. Valahari. Valahari.
That is, it's going to pop up.
Yes, type in slave. That look. If you want to know, if you want to see research in action, watch Valhara's video. She's got one on YouTube. It's so hot that the modern Europeans got it on their website. All right? It's called Law. It is, I think it is. And some people also refer to it as Black's Law. But it's on YouTube. She breaks it down. She broke down the slavery myth to the point where the first time I saw it, I realized just how gullible and stupid I was. Because there's no way. But see, they tell us things, and you know, it's interesting because as I was traveling up here, I was listening to Ben Yosef Yachanan. I was listening to him, and he made the point that we as Asiatic melanated people, that's all you have to do is say something like Jesus or God, and we will listen to anything you say. We will believe it. We won't research it. We won't question you. We will just swallow it, hook, line, and sinker. And he's so right. This February is a prime example of just how right he is. You're going to see so many Asiatic people just bobbing along. Oh, this is Black History Month. Yes, thank you, Jesus. We made it. We've arrived in the name of God. And they're swallowing this hook, line, and sinker. They're not researching nothing. And I can tell you, how many people know people like this? This is what I want you to do. You're not trying to push anybody. You're not trying to put the knife in and turn it or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying to do. But ask them if they ever read the Declaration of Independence. No, I'm just saying. Ask them if they've ever read the Declaration of Independence, because I'm willing to bet that they will tell you, no, I've never read that. Because let me tell you, after I read the Declaration of Independence, I realized, well, damn, all of this February, Black History Month, that's not even right. That's there. It's right. When you read the Declaration of Independence, it tells you that they're talking about the modern Europeans. They're the black people. They're the black. Then when you look up the definition of black, thank you, Sister Yasa, for putting that down on her website. She got the whole definition of black on her website, and it says pale, without color. Blah, 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 blah. And she wrote it all, and it's in the 1800s, the true definition of black. So I'm like, well, get down. This is all that is at all. This is some straight up hoodwinking. I was going to say something else, but this is some bamboozlement, you know. I mean, this is a straight up, in your face lie that we have all been told, and we have swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. Now, I have to tell you, I never bought into that whole black history, slavery stuff. I never bought into it. I didn't really care about it. When they was trying to put it into my head in school, I didn't care about school. I was told that I had to do this for 12 years, and then I can live my life. So I tried to hurry it up. Yes, I did. I tried to hurry it up, but I ended up graduating almost a whole year before, because I wanted to hurry up and start living life. And how many people have learned that much of what you learned in these institutions, these mental institutions, didn't help you a damn bit in your life at all? The true learning happened after you got out of that crap. A lot of what I learned from just reading, because I love to read. Ever since I was a little girl, I was in the books. And my mother thought I was strange. She'd be trying to creep up the stairs to see what I was in my room doing. I was in there reading, and she would run me outside. But that's what I loved to do. I loved to learn. I loved information. I wanted to know. So when I was in school, I would hurry up and get through whatever the assignment was. I didn't care what it was because I knew if I got through whatever the assignment was, then I can go back to my books and learn about some real stuff. And so that's what we really need to be pushing our children to do. Well, let me just rephrase that right now, because now that what we know today, we really need to be looking at ways to establish our own schools, even if it's got to be a makeshift school. We can do that because back in the day before we decided to get up in these modern European schools so that they can see what we're doing and divert us from the truth, we was all being taught in somebody's room somewhere all together, and we knew a lot more then than we know today. So we might want to go back to doing that, right? So I just want to read this article, and then I'm not sure if Roz is going to take over, but I got to read this article because it's just this right here. This right here. You can use this as Exhibit A to sue any county, city, town, township, borough. How many people have pulled down and read the 105-page report that the Justice Department did on cases? Nobody? It's free. It could be your Exhibit B along with this as to why you can go and sue any county, city, town, township, borough, corporation proactively for even putting the threat of violating your right to travel out into the public. Let me read this. A plan to reduce long wait times at the Department of Motor Vehicle offices by eliminating the need to pay car taxes before registering vehicles is leaving town and city officials with visions of empty coffers. Let me highlight that. Oh, my God. Governor Daniel P. Malloy on Tuesday proposed a bill that eliminates the requirement to pay car taxes and parking tickets before registering a vehicle, postpones issuing both titles until 2019, and allows AAA to issue registrations at its branches. Malloy said the aim is to reduce wait time at DMV offices, which have been plagued with problems since a new computer system was installed last summer. Let me tell you how well that it was played. Their treasurer for their one of their city corporations, AJ's sister, so on the wrong team, was traveling and got pulled over by one of their own corporate security guards with a gun. And they took her out of her car and made her walk home because the registration on the city automobile had not been updated because they sent the paperwork in, but the Department of Motor Vehicle let go a whole slew of people, so they got a backlog of stuff to process. And so her stuff didn't get processed yet, and they took her out of the company car and made her walk home and towed the company car. DMV was forced to close for 4 days, and when it reopened, wait times jumped as much as 7 hours. They need to pay me a whole day's salary for that one. Amid the fallout, former State Senator Andres Ayala resigned from his job as DMV commissioner. I didn't know that a state rep could be a commissioner of the Department of Motor Vehicle. That was interesting to know, right? Is that some, that's interesting. I need to highlight that right there. And I need to do some investigating because, look, if you're a so-called senator for Bridgeport, but see, Bridgeport is a corporation, right? And they are also working as the commissioner for the Department of Motor Vehicle. Is there conflict of interest? What's the conflict of interest? What's the conflict of interest? Huh? Yeah, but what? But why is it a conflict of interest? Say what?
Why should police be up?
Well, you would think that if they were a government, right? Right?
Yeah.
If they were a government, then the senator of Bridgeport ought to be policing the Department of Motor Vehicle, right? But why is it a conflict of interest?
Yeah, because he's something that you or him, Mr. Corporation, together.
Well, that's true, but they're not government, and they just told you that, right? Because if the...
Now let the thing slip under the rug, basically. His so-called quote-unquote.
Well, here's why it's let me show you why it's a conflict of interest. These are good answers, but let me show you why. Bridgeport is like New York City, right? And the name of the security guards that travel around New York City, what do? They arrest code breakers, right, yes. And do what? Under the guise of what kind of contract? Who's the contract with? What's the name of the corporation? What? Department of Motor Vehicle. You see the conflict of interest? He gets paid by Bridgeport Corporation. So now, wouldn't it not be beneficial for him to be on the commissioner for the Department of Motor Vehicle? He can initiate stuff that would make it possible for their security guards with guns to do more stuff with the people under the guise of the Department of Motor Vehicle. That's a serious conflict of interest. You want to know why it's also a huge problem? Because the Department of Motor Vehicle is a federal program. Long wait time experienced by customers at the DMV is simply unacceptable, and that's why we're outlining common sense proposals to lower them. Connecticut state government needs to be flexible. Connecticut state government, is Connecticut a government? No, they're not. Connecticut is not a government. Connecticut is a corporation. They began as a corporation, and they are a corporation still today. Needs to be flexible and find ways to improve customer service. What service are they providing in a cost-effective manner? And with this series of proposals, we're doing just that, Malloy, the governor says. What's the service that they're providing? No, I mean, they're alleging that they're providing a service. What is the service? And why is that flawed and criminal? Right, exactly. And if they're violating your right to travel, how does that get initiated? So now you don't have a right to contract with whom you should please. Right, exactly. Very problematic. While Malloy said his proposal is a way to lessen wait times by reducing trips to DMV, concern quickly rippled across the state because the proposal eliminates the main incentive to pay car taxes. Car taxes, the main incentive to pay car taxes. What does that really translate to? The incentive to pay car tax, what is that really saying? How are they getting people to, they're calling it an incentive. What is it really? What is it really? No. A forced incentive is what? 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 Extortion. A forced incentive is extortion. Inflation. The proposed elimination the main way that we extort income. That's extortion. It would be disastrous for collection efforts. Well, now, how do you own debt? What is the debt? How come you don't know about it? Where's the paperwork? Right? So that they're collecting income. Dan says this. Who predicts city? Danbury. What's the news? Are you ready for this? $2 million a year. It's a bad idea. Danbury Corporation. Danbury Corporation. Oh, said this. They're going to lose $2 million a how they're getting it. You see what I'm saying? They just allowed that they're providing a service. What service is generating $2 million a year? We know what the extortion is, but what service are they providing? What service are they providing that's generating $2 million a year? $2 million from the people in the sales parameter that they're not claiming.
That was for the audience. When they answer questions, usually with this.
I'll run through this one after you get over, right? No, all right. All right. Oh, all right. Well, who's gonna? All right. Okay, others agree it's a bad idea. It would diminish both property tax revenue and ticket revenues. Wait a minute, where is he? Ticket revenues for the town. Revenue. Now here's the thing. All right. It would diminish both property tax revenues and ticket revenues for towns. What property tax revenue? A car is personal property. It's considered a household expense, but it's not like a house. Ticket revenues for towns. Ticket revenues for towns? What did they just say? What did they just say? The way that these towns, which are really corporations, are generating income is by giving people tickets for traveling, which they have by force converted to a privilege, assigned a dollar amount, right? And now they get to say, okay, well, we're providing a service. A service that results in ticket revenue. What is the service? Now, they might say, well, you know, because we do this, the streets are now safe. Right? You've heard this, right? But now what they're saying, what are they really saying? What are they really saying? You want me to tell you what they're really saying? I want you guys to think. What they're really saying is, we're going to make sure that you are all safe. We're going to make sure you're all safe by following behind you and stopping you from and giving you a demand for income because you ran a red light and it might have, in the possible future, caused an accident and injured somebody. And because of that, we're keeping you safe, and that's the service we're providing. And so we get to give you a ticket and generate some ticket revenue. Right? Is that some convoluted craziness? Isn't it? It's some common craziness. They're saying they're providing a service for you and you and you and you by giving you a ticket because you might have generated an injury in the future from running a stop sign. And because of that, we provided you all a service, and so it allows us to get some revenue from you, some hard-earned revenue. Take food out of your children's mouths, put you out on the street, make it so that you can't go from home to work to provide for your family, right? But we're providing a service to you. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. And we fell for it. And we've been falling for it ever since. The vast majority of the people on this continent fall for it. Let's see. Revenue times depend on to pay. Oh, wow. Revenue times depend on to pay for essential services. So now you are funding a corporation's service charges. What could those services be for the corporation that benefits you? What could they? You see how this is so unconstitutional? You're being compelled to give a corporation some income so that they can pay for their essential services, but you can't pay for yours, which would be to feed yourself, clothe yourself, house yourself. But the corporation is well taken care of to the tune of $2 million a year. We're lucky if we see $1 million in a lifetime. This is amazing.
How can we get the bond information to sue them for that level of harassment? Because I saw an article where I think it was North Carolina. He was telling the police officers to put their property in somebody else's name.
But here's the thing. Those police don't have bonds because they're employees of a corporation. That's why they put their stuff in other people's names, because if I come to sue you and I win and you don't have the money, you have a car, I can come for your car. I can come for your car and sell it and get some of my money or income. And anything else that you have that's liquidatable.
Well, what about the ones that have money? How does that mean?
Yeah, about corporations. Corporations, employees of corporations generally do not have a bond. The corporation has a bond. That's why, if you notice, a lot of these police that's been getting tagged in the media, corporation cut them loose. They're no longer employees of those corporations because they ain't going to lose their bond to stay in business. See, that's another one of our problems as a people. We don't understand business. How many people know that in order for you to have a business, you must have what? What's the insurance called? What's that insurance called? No. What is the name of the insurance that you must have as a company/corporation in order to be in business? No. Indemnity. Indemnity. And another word for indemnity would be bond. But it's indemnity insurance. It covers the corporation just in case somebody comes in there, slips and falls and wants to sue them or whatever. Right? And now if they don't have that insurance, what happens? The doors are locked. I worked at a company, well, I didn't work there at the time, but I have heard about a company where they lost their insurance and they came and put the chains on the door. People came in to work the next morning and couldn't get in. Not even the owner.
Well, can I expand on that question? In terms of judgment, when they drag you in court to go your case,
they're not a judge.
Magistrate.
They're not even magistrates. They're ministerial officers, administrative officers. Let me ask you, have you ever worked in a large corporation? All right. What's the top body called? What the in the corporation, what is it called? Executive, what is the individual called? You got the CEO, the CFO, the secretary, the treasurer, what do they all call? Say it again? Executive officers. So that person sitting in that bench, that raised bench, they're not a magistrate, they're not even a judge. They're a ministerial officer, which is administrative. And so when you're in a corporation and you have an issue, that's administrative, right? Because they're a corporation, right? They're not even trying to hide it. I was watching a Law and Order episode, and the people was outside and they were protesting, and the captain or whatever comes outside and she says, "You are interfering with an administrative procedure." How many people in the Asiatic system too? You are interfering with an administrative procedure, and if you do not respond, you will all be arrested. And because the majority of the people, of course, it had to be an issue in the Asiatic community, right? Because it's only Asiatic communities that you have people protesting like that, right? But it just happened to be in an Asiatic community, and she made this announcement. Of course, she could say something like that in an Asiatic community because we're all mentally conditioned, and we don't even understand it. When you say administrative, you just said, I'm a damn corporation. No judicial authority, no law, so we can let it rip. But because we don't know that, we don't let it rip. We don't stand our ground. We don't make them, hey, show me. Show me the law. Show me the law that says that I have to leave. Because according to the Constitution, I can stand out here and demonstrate all day long, and you can't do jack to me. Mike?
Well, okay. So if you have basically birth certificate or social security card, do they have jurisdiction over you?
How would they have jurisdiction over you?
You are for the corporation.
How are you in that corporation?
By your social, well, say I was born in New York State.
You, wait a minute.
Right.
You were born in New York?
I have a social security number and a birth certificate.
Social security? If you read the back of it, it says, if lost, return it to who? And it says property of who? It's not yours. You're claiming it.
You can give it back at any time.
Well, I wouldn't give it back to myself because 9 times out of 10, you exchange some form of revenue for that.
Right.
There are people who are just sending all this back. I ain't sending back jack unless you pay me for it. I paid to get it. If you can pay to get it back. Besides, it's evidence of human trafficking. What did I need it for? What do I need to get a Social Security number for? Because if you know the history of the Social Security Act, you will know that it's an insurance policy, all right? And you can't be compelled to get into an insurance agreement. When they made the big stink about Obama trying to force people to have medical insurance, I know so many people just went right over their heads. Everybody's grabbing, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay. Well, they drove it unconstitutional to force you to get health insurance. Yet everybody is being compelled to get it, right? Right? They say, if you don't have it, you're going to be taxed at a higher rate, right? So everybody ran out and got the insurance, right? Because nobody understood what that said. When the reason that the whole insurance thing was a big uproar for corporations, took them a minute to figure out how they was going to sucker the people into claiming that, but they figured it out. The reason that the corporations was in an uproar was because the policy said the corporation must provide health coverage to their employees who work for them, right? Right? But the vast majority of people think that they got to go and file a 1040 at the end of the year to get their money back, like they put it in some Christmas club and they're going to get it back at the end of the year. And so when you file that 1040, you just said, I'm a corporation. So they said, are you providing your employees with medical insurance? Yes. You don't have to pay that fine. No, you have to pay that fine. So much case law out there that says that the people who are not a corporation do not need to file taxes. So much case law. So much. And yet, everybody files taxes at the end of the year. And if you tell them, well, if I file taxes, how am I going to get your money back? How about you get your money with every paycheck? You don't know how to save? Have somebody else cash your check and put something in an account or in the mattress or something. I know where he's. I know, and I want you to clear. I want you to continue with that. Because I know where you're going. Because, see, a lot of people, they think that, well, you know, they're holding me, basically. They're holding me hostage because I got this birth certificate and I got this Social Security card. And so because I got these things, these corporations can do anything they want with me, right?
Yeah, so the brother, he asked a question about the court system. You know, what gives them like jurisdiction as far as the judges, you know?
Oh, well, now we have to talk about jurisdiction. Because, see, let's go right back to the Constitution. See, you can't get away from the Constitution. Can't get away from it. In order for in the Constitution, how many people have read the Constitution? How many people know it real good? How many people know it a little? How many people know 9th and 10th Bill of Rights? They call it the Amendment. 9th and 10th Amendment. Book. Do we have a book with it in there? Just want to make sure I'm still charging. Yes, I am. I just want to read the 9th and the 10th Bill of Rights because see, this is we got something. What we got here? Oh yes, this is great. Yes, thank you. I can use this. All right. Everything always takes you back to the Constitution. That's why you must know it. You must study it. Don't let it trip out on you. Don't let nobody look. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't care who comes to you offering you a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because that's what all this UCC and trust bullshit is all about. Somebody promising you a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Let me tell you something. You don't need no pot of gold. You don't need anything. This is your vast estate. And so when you get that into your cranium, you will understand what the prophet said when he said, a day will come when you'll see a $20 bill on the ground and you will step over it. Because that is the day when you will realize that you are rich, my children. You are simply rich. You are rich. Why are you rich? Because the land is here forever. The land is here forever. The resources are here forever. Even though it might look like these modern Europeans is tearing up everything and polluting everything, it's going to heal and it will be here forever. And this land right here gives you your food. Your food is not animals. Your food is fruits and vegetables. You will never starve as long as green vegetation on this continent. Never. So now let me read the 9th and the 10th Amendment. It says, yeah, he gave it, the brother gave it to me. And look where he got it from. Where? I'll be their publications, baby. The enumerations in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. This is the one I love. The power is not delegated. You know what I said? Let me say it again. The power is not delegated. The power is not delegated. You know what that means? That means that if you didn't give them the authority, they got jack jurisdiction over you. They work for you. You don't work for them. They work for you. The Union States are here. The federal government is here to work for you. And the only reason that it might appear as though they don't is because we don't know who is who, what is what. We don't know how to identify who is attacking us. And we keep on going into these county, city, town, township, borough offices because they got offices and then they got offices that they send you to. How many people ever had a problem with their job? They tell you, oh, you got to go to the human resources and file a complaint, right? Oh, you didn't like it? Go to the labor department. Well, the labor department they work for the corporation. They work for the county corporation. Oh, you didn't get fair treatment, equal. What is it? Equal opportunity, and you right? It's a runaround. They got you running in a maze. And that's all you had to do was sue the person who injured you. We didn't have to go and people say, well, you can't sue them unless you go to the EEO or the EOO, whatever they call on them. I'm like, what do you mean? So I got to go to them and waste time? I got to get permission from these people who wasn't even there, have no firsthand knowledge. That's like saying, oh, I got to wait for the police to show up so I can file a report. They wasn't even there. They weren't there. Right? Well, we going to file a report anyways, right? And they wasn't even there. Crazy. All right, so the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Now, what does that mean? We talked about jurisdiction, right? Your question came up about jurisdiction. Does the Social Security Administration have jurisdiction over you? No. Does the county who gave you the birth certificate? Does the Department of Motor Vehicle who gave you that fraudulent driving instrument? What about the registration? None of these people have jurisdiction over you. Why? Why? Because here's the thing. There's a case law that says that unless, I'm paraphrasing, but unless you enter into these contracts and you voluntarily waive your rights with full knowledge that you are waiving your unalienable rights, all bets are off. And you can now turn around and sue these people for fraud. But you got to know who is who, what is what, and you have got to identify the correct parties. For years we've been saying, oh, the state is attacking me. I'm one of those people. I sent writs to the state, and the state constantly tried to tell me without telling me. You know, Sister Valerie, she always talks about you got to know when your window has been presented. She's so absolutely right. Because this happened in, like, I want to say 2009, 2010. It's 2016, and I'm just now seeing the window that was presented to me. But since fraud has no statute of limitation, I can always go back and revisit it. Your constitutionally secured rights can never be violated, and they put an expiration date on when you can visit that. They never can do that, but they don't teach us none of this stuff. So we don't know. So we give up our rights all the time. How many times have it doesn't happen, at least not to me. How many times have you answered your phone and somebody says, hey, how you doing? Good evening, this is so-and-so. I'd like to ask you a few questions if you didn't have the time. They don't even wait for you to say, yes, what are your questions? They just, what is your this? And people would just give it up. I was watching this movie today. It's called Identity Theft. That is so not for us. But it was called Identity Theft. And, it was interesting because they always try to paint it that us Asiatic people is the biggest criminals. Watch Identity Theft and you will see criminality in action, and it ain't us. But she calls up this guy, a European, and she says, hi, I'm calling from the Credit Protection Agency, and I'm calling you today because it just showed up on our radar that your credit card has been used without your authorization. And so we're giving you this call. And the guy was like, oh, wow, really? Thank you so much for calling me. What would you like me to do? Well, I just need you to verify some information. Get out of your date of birth. You gave it up. What about your social security number? Gave it up. Your person, your mailing location? Gave it up. Gave up all that information. Gave it up. Now, we might not be, I know nobody in here would ever do that. But sometimes you go into these institutions, if you have children and you go into these institutions, they tell you, here's one. You're taking your child to these, I don't know if they do it up here, but they're doing this up north. You want to register your child for school, you got to show a rent receipt. No, I'm sorry, you got to show a lease. You got to show your lease. If you have a house, you got to show your deed or your mortgage and your utility bills. And I'm like, what? You got to be kidding me. What is all of this for? Why do I have to give up my private and confidential information? Why must you be privy to my lease agreement or my mortgage information just so that my child can go to the school? But you know what? The majority of people give it up. They give it up. You know why they give it up? Because we ain't got time to sue. We got to go to work in about 5 hours.
I actually refused to give it up.
I did too.
But,
Went to
they told me my child couldn't go there without proof of residence.
Yes, I know. And I went to the state. Because it's the county that's doing this. This is how you know. Did you do that? Did you take it further?
No, I actually didn't. I just gave it to some kids to do.
You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going? I didn't give you jack. I'm like, I ain't giving you nothing. My daughter was living with me, and I need your lease. I ain't got one. I've been here so long. We was here before lease and Walmart was started. I ain't got one. Oh, well, you're going to have to go get one. I ain't doing it. And even if I have one, I ain't showing you jack. That's my private information. Why must I give you? Well, we got to know who's on the lease living in the house. I don't give a jack what you got to see. Now, that's why if you don't give it to us, we're going to take your child, take my grandson out of school. Here's my daughter. I said, well, you better write a writ bill. She didn't write a writ, right? So they took him out of school. I woke up one morning, they home. I said, what are you doing here? I wrote up a writ. I said, oh, no. When she let me know that morning, I was like, oh, no, get in the car. We're going down to the board. We're going down to this Board of Education. We're going to talk to this board, whatever they call the Board of Education, superintendent. We're going to talk to him today. So we went in and couldn't get to talk to him. We got some little snotty-nosed European, OB woman. And she was like, well, if you get this residency form signed, he can, if you promise to bring it back, we'll let him come to school today. And I was like, oh, all right. Gave you enough time to go write a writ. I sent that writ to the superintendent, and I sent it to the state. And next thing I know, I got a call from the state attorney. He called the school. I was ready to take this thing right up to Washington. I don't care. They're like, we never had anybody do go this far. So I'm damn straight you ain't. But I'm not the one. I'm not the one. You can try that with somebody else who want to give up their rights, but I'm not the one. So we agreed that I would throw out this residency form, and I was like, oh, because I ain't giving up my private and confidential, but you going to give me yours? You give me yours, I give you mine. I want it. That's the way I feel. But then, don't they do this at the job? You go to the job, they're like, I need your social security number. Can I have yours? Well, no, I can't give that. Now you go to like the Walmart and you, hey, what's your name? I can't give that out. Private confidential information. Well, excuse me? You just got my credit card. You know, if you're calling up corporations now, hi, this is employee 12345. You don't have a name? No, that's private confidential information. Well, so is mine. What? Now, how are we going to make this? You're confidential, I'm confidential. How are we going to do this? I mean, come on. You see what I'm saying? If more people did this, these corporations couldn't get away with this shit. I'm saying it. This is shit. They wouldn't be able to get away with this. If they want to stay in business and generate some income, right, they got to get this information from you. So you call them up, hey, what's your name? Private and confidential information. So is mine. You got something to sell? You need some income? I want your product. How are we going to do this? Crazy, isn't it? I'm telling you. And so I can get over it. We're going to have to get over it because let me tell you something. And this is why Prophet Noble Drew said study, study, study. He said study, study, study because let me tell you, when you study and you see just how much power when you begin to just see a glimmer of how much power you got, you'll be sitting at home just calling up people. How are you today? Yes, what is your name? Hi, Susan. I'm having a good day so far. Wonderful. And then you start, I want to buy something, I want this and that. Like today, I was on the phone trying to get some information, and the girl that was on the phone, she was so not with the program. I hate to say it, but she sounded like a dumb blonde, and they got her answering the phone. All right, and I'm talking to her, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to do this, and this, and she wasn't even paying attention to what I was saying because she was coming back and telling me other stuff, and I'm like, okay, so. She said, well, that's not what I asked you. This is what I asked you, and I made a list, not even 3 things. I said, this is what I'm trying to do. Can you help me? She said, well, what you can do is that you can sign up for the services. It's free for 30 days, right? This is a trap. I'm just telling you right now. It's free for 30 days. You can try it out for 30 days. That's a trap. I said, now, how would I sign up for this? Oh, you have to give your name, your mailing location, your credit card information. I said, so I'm going to give you my private and confidential information so I can try your product to find out it doesn't suit my needs. I said, that don't make no sense at all. So I see a point there. I said, yeah, well, you're going to have to come with it else. So, I'm always thinking, I ain't going to talk about what I'm thinking to do while we're on the air, but I'm thinking of a way to get around that. Because I don't put nothing. Y'all, these people out there on Facebook giving up all the information crazy. I got my appellation out nowhere because nobody needs to know that. They don't need to know where I am. Everybody's, I went to high school here, and I live in this town, and these are my family members. I want to murder all of you. I know where to go. Because all your family members is on Facebook giving up their mailing location and everything. I just know about it. And then they updating you. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Just got my nails done. On the way to the mall. Gonna buy some shoes. I can kill anybody. They don't need to track you with no sunlight. They don't need no GPS. You're on Facebook giving it up. I'm going to Barnes & Noble. Gonna buy one of those smart books. Nothing educational. God, the Barnes and Noble. She'll be there at 5 o'clock, killer. I want people need to feel that important. You see how they have mentally conditioned us? We give up everything. You don't even have to ask for it. You know that people are now going to Facebook to find out about people before they even come in. You know, they have all those online. You gotta apply for a job online. Everybody's on Facebook. They get the applications and go on Facebook. Oh yeah. We don't want her. Don't even send her a letter to come in. We shoot ourselves in the foot all of them. We give up too much information. And then some of the pictures people got on Facebook, oh my goodness. She doesn't qualify for that job, but we can refer her for some other stuff. Scandalous. But anyways, let me get back to this. It would diminish both property tax revenues and ticket revenues for towns. Towns depend on to pay for essential services, said Kevin Maloney, the spokesman for the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. Oh, my goodness. They have a conference of municipalities. I mean, CCM, that's the acronym for Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. I hate acronyms. Finds the proposal to be very problematic, Maloney said. Residents have an obligation to pay these taxes and fees to help ensure the towns can meet their services. Is that retarded? I mean, I don't want to say that because retarded people are very bright. They just think on a whole other scale. These people are insane. Residents have an obligation to pay taxes, demand for income, to make sure that the towns can meet their service needs. The people have an obligation to pay taxes and demand for income, extortion of income, to help the town corporation meet their service needs. I'm telling you, it's right here. This right here. You can use this and sue every county, city, town, township, borough. All of them. And then you can, for reinforcement, you can go grab the 105-page report that the Justice Department did on the Ferguson Corporation because they said some damaging things just in the summary alone. Do you know Ferguson brings in like $2.6 million every year, and they said it just from stalking the people as they travel on the road and forcing them over and giving them a demand for income. And then if they do not pay the demand for income, we send out our corporate security guards with guns to kidnap them off of the street. It's an incentive to get them to pay so that the towns can meet their service needs. They are so in our faces, it is ridiculous. And then you got some Moors that's going to the counties talking about, can you give us a proclamation for Moorish American Week? And a lot of them are saying, sure, no problem. We're going to give you that. So now they know you are Moor because they give you the proclamation. Well, we know who you are. And then they come and they extort from you under threat, duress, and coercion. Threat of kidnapping, holding you for ransom. This is what they're doing. And we're all falling for it. Nobody's suing nobody. But let it be a European. You know why they don't mess with the Europeans? Because they will sue in a half a second. They don't care. They can be in the jail for 30 days and get day 31, and they suing them. Yes. It's an article that was on the internet. Huh? It's actually on Facebook. We're going to put it up on the website. Malloy, municipalities at odds over car tax. Now, the reason that I found this is because about a year or two ago, they talked about getting rid of the car taxes. And I didn't know who was in an uproar, I should say, who had the opinions and a bunch behind this. But the one thing I did remember hearing was that the car taxes, the motor vehicle taxes that they're compelling the people to pay, supplements property taxes for people who own homes. I was like, wait a minute, I don't even own a home and I'm supplementing somebody who does have a home? That's unconstitutional. Right? That means that if you live in, like up here, we got a lot of high-rises, right? And all of those people in the high-rise have a motor vehicle, an automobile, personal property, right? Everyone in that building is compelled to pay a tax on that automobile, and it will supplement the owner of the building where you live. The owner of the building where you live, where you're also paying them some type of income for the space. So you're getting hit twice for the same person. That's so absolutely unconstitutional. There's case law that says you can't take from one group of people to give to another group of people. That's exactly what they just said they're doing. Who's benefiting? And nobody, the people that they're attacking, they're stalking, compelling to pay, they're not benefiting at all. The corporations are benefiting, and that's why the Constitution was written. That's why I keep telling people, you need to know that Constitution. You need to know the spirit of it. You don't need to know every single word of it. Because if you study every single word of it, if you read it over and you look at words like we did for 13 months, go back and pull down off of the RVBey publication, Sisters Standing on Law, 13 months worth, where we 13 months, we went over the entire American Constitution, 1791. There's definitions, there's case law, there's questions. That's a class for every child across the nation so that they will know the supreme law of this land. That's not just Anna Eve speaking, that's case law. American Constitution is the supreme law of this land, not statutes. Statutes are for corporations. They're not for people. So let me read this again. State Senator L. Scott Plants of Greenwich and a member of the Transportation Committee said the proposal would reduce revenue to towns. Everybody's afraid of losing the $2 million a year. How else? Oh boy, this was really a good one. How else can a municipality collect car taxes other than have the DMV sledgehammer on them? Look at the article. How else can this is from somebody who represents Greenwich Corporation. All right? How else can a municipality collect car taxes other than have the Department of Motor Vehicles sledgehammer on them? I would be concerned about the loss in revenue. Yeah, because some of that revenue, that $2 million pays his salary. Bolton estimated Danbury's car tax collection rate would drop 50%. So instead of getting $2 million, they're going to get $1 million. Going to have to let some people go. And said because communities cannot place a lien on a car if taxes are not paid. I was like, what? What? Wait a minute. What? So the incentive to pay your taxes is so that if some community wants to put a lien on your automobile, they can. But if you don't pay your car taxes, they can't put a lien on your automobile. I was like, what? I'll never pay taxes again. Well, you're not obligated to pay taxes at all. But now that makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense, right? It can't. Because if you own a home and you owe taxes on the home, they can't sell it. They can't put a lien on it. They can't do nothing with it until the taxes are paid. And that's why they will put your house up for sale as a tax sale. Because they want to be able to lien the house. It's a scam. It's the biggest scam. It's the biggest scam going. It goes all over the place. It ain't just for houses as we see, and it ain't just for cars. Because guess what? With houses, they say, oh, excuse me, let me go back. Let me go. With cars, they say they have a certificate of title. Now, everybody who's more knows the title is RVBey, Allen, or Arlene, right? So there, anybody ever saw a title for an automobile? Anybody? Anybody ever saw a title for a house? I went to the land record, went all the way back to the very first land record of a specific property location. Didn't see one title. Not one. You know why? Don't exist. RVBey Al Ali. That's the title. So they're doing this across the board. It's not just reserved for one. They have found a way to hoodwink the people, and they duplicate it all over the place. You were talking about the birth certificate. The birth certificate is a form of a title. You ever saw the actual birth record? No. But the certificate means that there's a birth record somewhere. Just like the certificate of title on a house or a car implies that there is a title somewhere. Guess what? They're absolutely right. There is a title somewhere. Everywhere on this continent where Asiatic people are, there are titles everywhere. RVBey Al Ali. So there is a title somewhere. Just that the people don't know that they are the title. Right?
Is that why they do title searches to see if the RVBey
has put in a claim? That's right. Because Prophet Noble Jewelry came and claimed all of this land for, once again, right, exactly. But he put in a claim, or he made mention of this being, the claim is that this is our ancestral estate. He put that claim down, gave the latitude and longitude of it. And guess what? It's in the Quran, chapter 47. Right? Hold on. So there is a claim already here. We just need to step into it. But we can't step into it if we don't study, because these people are going to challenge you because you're talking about a vast estate. You see, they're talking about this is just one corporation bringing in $2 million a year. It's a lot of income, lot of unreported income on the table. You think that they're not going to challenge you? $2 million, where do you think that goes? Goes into all these people's back pocket. It's called salary. So now you come and you put in a national claim. You think they're not going to challenge you? You think they're not going to ask you? Prove it. And you know what's sad? A lot of Moors think that, well, here's my paper to prove it. No, baby. That's not the proof. Here's the proof. Here's the proof right here. That's right here. That's the proof right here. I am the Aboriginal indigenous being of the land. The land. Study. The land. Under the water is land. That means you are Aboriginal indigenous to planet Earth, the first. They're the second. They can never, ever have a superior claim over a Moor. The only thing they can do is trick you into abandoning your inheritance. That's all they can do. And they trick people all day, especially in this month. Oh, yeah, I'm black, I'm Negro, I'm colored, I'm African American. And I say, what more? Oh, yeah, well, you can't celebrate Black History Month, damn straight. Your question.
All right, so basically, how do you claim it? You know, your birthday.
Like what? Like what?
Birthday, basically, like,
Yeah,
I mean, as far as being your proper persona, as far as your name,
but you
your title.
You're black.
What I'm saying as far as your title or your attribute.
Fine. You just take it on. Are you going to be an ill or a they?
They.
Yeah. That's it. Do you know that Asiatic people come all from over? And let me ask you this.
So
do you ever
think legally, like how do you?
No. Ain't no legally here. It's law. And see, the law, as Russ will tell you, the law was laid down already when you was born. Done.
At what I think is clarification. We make our own decisions. We just
Mike. Yes, exactly. You're not.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, how do you?
Oh, but let's be clear now, because everybody don't qualify for this. All right, because it's not on the same scale. When you claim your nationality, you send notice to the United Nations, International Criminal Court, World Court, the United States Department of State, not the little state building, not the little Secretary of State of the Union State. No, not them, because they're not bringing no claims against you. They already know who you are. It's these county, city, township, boroughs. Now, how do you do that? If they present you with a claim, you present them with a claim. Yeah, because they're always saying, oh, you're traveling on my land, in my car, because that's the implication, right? Right? Because they can tell you they can tell you what to do with your stuff, then there must be some implication that your stuff is their stuff. Right? Am I right? Hey, you're speeding, so you might have an accident in my shit. Do you have a mic? Put yourself where you go
we said this before, for instance, if they say to you, they put it in writing, right? They're making a claim territorial. When they say to you that in the jurisdiction of the county of New York or whatever, right, wherever you are, you were speeding on 5th Street, right? Are you aware that they made a territorial claim? Probably not. So what do you do back? To try them. You have to say to the jurisdiction of my ancestral estate / national domicile, I was traveling, not driving, by the way. That's it. So now what did you just do? You have jurisdiction. They just tricked you by saying it, and because we have no knowledge, we never rebutted it. It doesn't mean go argue with them. It means just like they wrote it, you trump it back. But if you don't know that this is your ancestral state, and if you don't know that this is your national domicile because you said you were a national, well, then you were under a national domicile, which is the American land, and not under the state domicile, which is a quasi-national domicile.
All right. Right. I just got work on court systems and with the police. I'm saying you're traveling to Kindergarten, pull you over.
I can put you in at that time. So go ahead. How you handle it at that moment.
Okay, so first of all, these are not the very brightest people, so you don't want to try to have any kind of intellectual dialogue with them. But I have seen people try to have intellectual dialogue with them. The only thing that you're going to do is piss them off. So whatever they got to do, short of stealing your stuff, let them do it. Because you should be really happy because you're about to somebody about to lose their job. Because you just don't know how much power you have. Somebody's about to lose their job. It might be some bodies, plural, that's about to lose their job. If you write that written right. Because, see, and people want to know, well, how did I put in my nationality? The first paragraph is always where you put your status. I am Anna Eda L. Moor, this is what I put, Moor, in the good old Oxford, with a political jurisdiction, Moorish American national, on the ancestral estate of my forefathers, and I do not waive any of my inalienable rights, period. That's it. Now, let's get to talking about what happened. I talk about what happened. What happened? I was traveling on my ancestral estate, going in a northerly direction, when in my rearview mirror I noticed that I was being stalked by an unknown vehicle, unknown person, and I was forced off of the road, and an unknown person with a gun came up to my right side of my personal property and demanded my private and confidential information from me. When I asked what for, he displayed activity that made me in fear for my life, so I gave him my private and confidential information, at which point he walked away and came back and gave me a piece of paper with a demand for income. I shortly saw them chasing behind, stalking another victim to possibly do the same. I ain't calling them. I'm not going and calling and finding out their badge numbers. I'm not trying to find out their names. I'm not trying to find out nothing, because when they was stalking me, I didn't know who they was. When they come up to the side of your conveyance, they never say, "Hi, how you doing? I'm John Doe."
Right.
You were speeding. They never say nothing like that. And then they put on these uniforms in disguise. Like, well, who do you work for? I work for the state of Connecticut. No, you don't. Yes, I do. See, my uniform says it. No, you don't. I work for the state of New York. No, you don't. State can't have police. Yes, they can. No. If the feds can't have police, state can't have police. Who do you work for? I mean, I wouldn't ask that question. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to piss nobody off. I'm just saying. You realize you were speeding? Well, did I injure anyone? I didn't realize I was doing. I mean, you gotta, you gotta know. You gotta try and feel. Look, this is where you gotta work up your intuition. You know, if you feel like you might can reason with them, you might want to test the waters. If they let you know, I'm just a stupid bastard, then just leave them alone. You take whatever they're trying to give you. Give me the ticket. I'll deal with it in your tribunal. No problem.
Now, once you get fed to the top, to the lock court or whatever, now how do you go about
Speak up.
the lawsuits or whatever, the filing procedure? Once you get into the court now, how do you...
Well, here's the thing. At this stage of the game, where we're going, you ain't ever going to get into the so-called courtroom because you was never in a courtroom. You have to understand that these corporations, that's all they do is go and rent space, all right? Then they go and they get the little administrative clerk people to sit on the high rise, right? Then they get their little clerk people that don't even know how to type and do stenography anymore, don't know how to use them. They playing the tape. They recording it just like they're recording it, you can record it, right? But you're supposed, and you're not in a court of record. But here's the thing. Here's the beauty. And there's case law that says this. It's like you got to study. I'm telling you, if you don't study, they will stay you all day long. They will look. If a thief know you can't count change, they will steal from you. Right? So you got to learn how to count change. The only way you're going to learn how to count change is if you study. Because it ain't going to just drop into your head by some osmosis. You got to put the work in. Ain't nothing free here. At least there is free, but reconditioning the mind, that's not going to happen unless you work it. Just like if you wanted to, everybody want to get in shape, summer is coming. Well, guess what? If you sit on the couch at home eating Twinkies, you're never going to get in shape. You got to get on the wheel. You got to get on the bike, push the pedals. You got to do something. You ain't just going to wake up on your June 21st, first day of summer, and have that wonderful physique you've been dreaming about since wintertime. It's not going to happen from sitting on the couch. You got to get up and put in the work. It's not free, not like that. So, let me get through because we're running out of time, and I ain't even finished it. Let me see what time is it. 9:20. Let me finish this. This is the part I love. Devon Pugliese, a Malloy spokesman, said the state should not be helping to collect tax revenue for towns and cities. I like that person already. I'm going to have to go check them out. Then they said what I really love. The DMV should not be in the local property tax collection business. Hello, yes, that is correct. The core function of the motor vehicle department is to provide license, register cars, and other services. It is not to collect a $50 ticket on behalf of a municipality. She is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But here's the other thing about that. If the employee of a Compton City Town Township Borough stops you as you're traveling on the land, gives you a demand for income, you don't pay it, they go and contact the Department of Motor Vehicle. The Department of Motor Vehicle contacts your insurance company. What is that called? What? Collusion. And what else? What else? Collusion and oh, I ain't got no markers, but that's all right. Come on. Collusion and, see, collusion is good, but the other one, we got some powerful codes on it. You have the municipality, you have the Department of Motor Vehicle, you have the insurance company.
We want black, then don't do red.
Have the municipal corporation. Oh, I shouldn't have did it that way. Darn it. Yes, let me do it this way. All right, we got the municipal. Yeah, y'all gonna get it with this one. Corporation contacts the DMV, who then contacts insurance, who then contacts and confirms the municipality. What is that? You have the municipality up top, the DMV to your left, the insurance to the right. That's collusion and conspiracy. That's violation of Title 18, Section 241, 242. When two or more accost you on the highway, that's 241, 242. It's right there. What did they just do? What did this? And when they come for you, isn't it usually two or more? If you start off at one, right? But as soon as you ask a question, a second, third will show up, right? Now, the municipal corporation will contact the DMV, let them know we just gave them a demand for income. Isn't that what they just said? Now, the municipal corporation needs some income. So they invest the services of the DMV to squeeze the people into giving out the income, right? And then, if you still don't pay it, then they will contact your insurance company. As soon as the DMV gets notified that you ain't paid something, what do they send you a notice and say they're going to do? Suspend the registration, right, and license, right? So then they will immediately contact the insurance company, right? And then if you don't pay the extorted income, they'll put out a warrant for you, right? Kidnap you off the land, right? That's conspiracy. Somebody pull up 241, 242 for me, and let me read it so that y'all can get the full effect. Not only is it a 241, 242 violation, it's also a constitutional violation because their corporation, right? Right? The municipality is a corporation, right? DMV is a corporation, right? And the insurance company is a corporation, right? Three corporations all conspiring to extort income from you under the guise of providing a service. Is that some craziness or what? 241. If two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, Commonwealth, possession, or district in a free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to them by the Constitution of laws of the United States, or because of his having so exercised the same. Or if two or more persons go in disguise on the highway, or on the premises of another with the intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege so secured, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse. Let me just clarify that right there, because I know a lot of people are like, well, there ain't no sexual abuse right here. Strip search, sexual abuse. Or an attempt to kill, they shall be fined under this title or in prison for a term of a term of years, or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. Hot, right? We don't even know the power we got. We run around scared. These people will just look like they're coming to chase you, and you will begin running. I won't, but some do. All right, let me finish this. The world is changing, and the DMV needs to change with it. You're either for longer wait times or you're against them. Brian had a different view. At the end of the day, this may be a way to convince towns and cities to get rid of contractors if they can't keep them, he said, noting the lawyer has tried to eliminate the levy in the past. So now to let you know it's a levy, right? State Senator Tony Boucher of Wilton, all right, he's speaking on behalf of Wilton Corporation, and a ranking member on the Transportation Committee, said eliminating the need to pay car taxes before registering vehicle would hand towns and cities a huge revenue loss. Tax assessors will be very upset, Moor said. The only way to force the issue is not allowing you to register your car. This is the stick and the enforcement action. Is that some bold crap or what? Less wait time. Malloy insists residents often learn they owe back taxes after arriving at DMV and make several trips before the issue is resolved. By removing this prohibition, it is expected that the number of customers having to make duplicate trips to branch offices will be minimized and as such contribute to reduced wait time and an enhanced customer experience. They're acting like they're really and truly providing a service, and they're extorting and compelling the people to engage, give up their constitutionally secured rights, and pay for the privilege of giving up their constitutionally secured rights on the land that is free. And the bad part about it is many of these municipalities were started by Great Britain. These are foreigners telling you you can't travel on your own land unless you pay me something. It is hard to believe this causes long lines. The governor also said allowing AAA to issue registrations and postponing the issuance of vessel titles. Vessel titles. You know a vessel is a ship. That's a vessel. Until December 31st, 2018 would free up DMV staff so they can fix other problems. DMV is going through a massive shift that should have happened decades ago. Ball said she supports privatizing such functions. Privatizing, you know what they just said? They're going to farm out the registration program. Now, here's the thing. Farming it out to the Department of Motor Vehicle that was established by the Union State, or I should say the county, was already a farming out. Right? It was already a problem because the motor vehicle program is a federal program. So it was already farmed out. You know what that's called? Private contractor. So here you have the county saying that they're government when in fact they're a private contractor that have moved beyond, so far beyond their jurisdiction. Now, how do we know that we're talking about a jurisdiction when we're talking about these municipalities? They're a private contractor. 2011, North Carolina said it. They just affirmed it. 2011, North Carolina stated that the Department of Motor Vehicle and the police are not an agency of the state. All right? So they've always been a private contractor. But they're now going to open it up. Now, I don't know about how they do it down here, but up north, farther up north, it used to be that you can only do emissions at a Department of Motor Vehicle branch. Then a couple of years ago, they found out that there was some criminal activity going on. People were selling the stickers that went in the window for the emissions, and so they halted the whole process for a number of years, about a couple of months, maybe a year or two. And then when they brought it back up, any gas station, automobile repair shop, anybody who wants to can buy the equipment and administer the emissions process for a fee. They're getting ready to do the same thing with the Department of Motor Vehicle. That's why they said it here. They said it. She supports privatizing some functions. Such as registering your car at the Automobile Association, that's your AAA. But for the most part, Malloy's plan avoids the main issue of DMV's failure to perform. What were they supposed to perform and do? They're doing this rather than address the substantial problem. They paid $25 million for a non-functional. They paid $25 million of those dollars that they extorted from the people, which is now why they raised all of the rates for registering, licensing, you know. And of course, let's not forget that if you get this, if these employees of the municipality stalk you, give you a demand for income, right, they're going to notify the DMV, right? And if you don't pay it in a certain time frame, what is the DMV going to do? What? Suspend the license, right? Yes, suspend the license, and then how much are you going to have to pay to get the license reinstated? It's a scam. It's a scam. You can't escape it. The only way you can escape it is to study, 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 get the necessary knowledge, and when they attack you, sue them. You have to write your claim. Yes, you must write your rebuttal claim. But everybody in here, you need to stay under the radar. Don't do nothing. And you need to study, and draft up your suit and have it on standby so that if you are attacked, and even, God forbid, if you are kidnapped, soon as you are free, you can come back home, fill in the blanks, write your cause of action, and take that down to a state court. You can usually find a state court wherever the capital is and put that suit in and send a courtesy copy to the mayor, CEO of the county, city, town, township, or borough. And remember, he is the one responsible for the actions of all employees. It's the CEO. They call him the mayor. So you're suing the mayor and the person who attacked you. You don't ever want to sue a corporation because you can't. So this is the only way that you're going to get a foreign corporation off your back and out of your pocket. And you're only going to be able to do all of that if you're studying. So stay under the radar, study, put your suit together, and let it rip. Islam? And with that, I think I'm going to turn this over to RVBey. It's 9:40, and you said you had some comments.
Oh, no. I ain't got enough.
I'll answer some questions.
No.
I'll answer some questions.
Yes, well, first of all, good class, right? That's for my good information, right?
Yeah.
Right, I don't. It wasn't. That was good information.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
And study is necessary. I'm not to strategize about unless you have first studied.
Exactly. How you going to create a strategy when you don't have the information? Some people say, well, what do I do? Well, there's a whole lot of ways, they're saying when they say, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. It depends on how you want to approach it. Which way do you want to go? Which kink of law and everything do you want to stand on until the cows come home? And, you understand? It's up to you. Like what she's talking about was just the surcharge, right? DMV, when they suspend the license, right? Right? And then the surcharge company comes and says, we're going to surcharge you just because you got stopped 2 weeks ago, right? And the surcharge, you look at surcharge, it's an exacting impulse and extracting that's not authorized over and above, right? So they're saying each state, right? So-called DMV has a surcharge department as well. And like she said, they got about 2 weeks ago. Surcharges for that. That's what it is. Yeah. So then, how do you identify that as extortion and conspiracy to extort, as she's saying? Easy. We've done it. And then not because whether we were speeding, whether we weren't speeding, that had nothing to do with that. It wasn't because whether the license issue was suspended or wasn't suspended. It was the fact that the strategy used was what you're doing right here is called conspiracy. And it's conspiracy to extort. And I can substantiate it. Yes, we'll be back. We get another date. Wasted, write the writ, and conspiracy to stop one part. Yeah. So I was whether it was actually something that happened or whether you were really speeding. That wasn't the point. Moving the extortion to conspiracy. So conspiracy to extort was simple. Here's how it is. I'll simplify it for you. You got supposedly hit and stopped and got a ticket, right? You paid the ticket. That's that. But they want you to come up so they can suck the Moorship from you. And then the surcharge company has applied something. Department, right? Right? So you pay the surcharge company because they like to be ambiguous. They don't even let you know who they are. They don't send you jack. You don't pay, right? And one day when you get hindered, they say, well, you know your license is suspended, right? And you didn't know this. Did you? Because they didn't tell you. Because it's just set up. Yes. And no one likes it. So then it's like this. The surcharge company, department, if you will, that didn't get paid, said, yo, they didn't pay me. And they notified the DMV company, right? And they say, yo, let's suspend that license this year. Yes, suspend that license. Oh, and don't forget now, after they notify the DMV that suspend the license, right? Instrument. Then they notify the local police department, counties, and all that, right? Are you seeing an extortion to? Are you seeing it in a conspiracy, which is highly penal? And they say this. They say, did you see that? You see that person to the local policy enforcers that are really highwaymen stalking you, that are really employees of theirs, so there's even more conspiracy and conflict of interest. If you see them, you're going to shoot your tag or whatever. You know what? You pick them up. Because why? Because they go surcharge. What is the surcharge? The surcharge goes by the DMV. The DMV suspended the license, and now we order you to go get it. That is called conspiracy. Conspiracy to extort. I'm not sure whether you have a right to the traveling portion or to the license part. That's how simple did you get it. So we've done that. And I've done it twice with the license. Sometimes that is just because I called conspiracy to extort finances. So it's a matter of the strategy you wish to take. But as she's saying, how can you take a strategy like that and you didn't study them out? It's not happening. That's right. You do not
want to fly by the seat of your pants, especially now, because they're so hungry for income. You see about to lose $2 million a year. Oh, they're gonna be real hungry. You don't want to be flying by the seat of your pants. What do I mean? You're stalked and forced off the road, and you're looking at these people coming in your rearview mirror. You're on the phone to NE. NE, they're behind me. What should I do? That's not going to fly. Because they're going to come up there and say, get out of the car. NE, should I get out of the car? No, stay in the car. They tell, I'm not getting out of the car. I'm not getting out of the car. Then I get out of the car. I want to go to the window. They said, don't go to my window. I can't have my car down like that. You can't.
The people start off with the comes all the time.
There you go.
It's so important.
Now, let me just say this.
Because when it's my license, I told them now to keep it.
All right.
Yeah,
what did he say? He just said that they are watching everything we do to try to figure out a power to do what we do, which is why you need to know what the hell you're doing before you do it instead of calling us something that's in your ear.
Yes, and let me just say this. We work on our right to travel. Forget about trying to claim a house. Forget about trying to get a trust. Forget about the birth certificate crap. Forget about the social. Forget about all of that crap, okay? Because if you can get your right to travel straight in learning all that comes with your right to travel, trust me, you'll be able to put those other, deal with those other things afterwards. And guess what? You'll be able to travel up to the Social Security Department, the Social Security Administration Corporation in what they call Baltimore, without fear of getting stalked, forced off the road, and kidnapped, because you will have put your right to travel to bed. Because it's all about your constitutional rights. The problem that a lot of our people have is they try to get, I'm going to tackle the right to travel, I'm going to put in a trust, I'm going to file your studio, I'm going to go get that phone that strong head on that birth certificate, I'm going to go call. They've been holding on to me, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do, and guess what's going to happen? They all going to gang up on you and show up at the same time. Trust me, they're going to do that because they all talk. So as soon as you go after the DMV, IRS, they got a trust fund for me because, the birth certificate is a bond, and on the back of the social, that's the bond number. So I'm going to go and I'm going to tell IRS, I want them to send me my money. IRS going to come after you. The Department of Motor Vehicles will come after you. They all going to send writs. They're all going to send some claim in disguise all at the same time. And if you don't respond to all of them in a timely fashion, they're going to snatch you. One issue at a time.
And they do that because they absolutely are colluding with each other. They already know that the way that they put food on their plate to feed their baby is through your ignorance.
Yes.
So they already know. Right now, as we're rising, and natural people are rising into their social political status, and exercising their God-given birthright. Because if it's a birthright, that means there's no place outside institution that can get that to you. Where can they take it away? So the awareness is that you need to be aware that they are right at birth, or right just from being told that right. So take them away. Except for you to claim that you don't have them. How do you claim you don't have them? Because you don't know. You can only be well. Back to the word study. So now they know that the people are rising. You think they're promoting them along with each other as much as they can? The only problem is if we would continue to put the maybe you would think it's a claim. They're making a claim on you. It ain't no lawful thing. It's not even legal. They're just making a claim which they know you don't know jack about. Counter that claim and making a claim on them.
Or do you know about law? If you don't know about claims and you don't know about law, chances are you won't even know that you're in a court.
Exactly. And that's how they successfully done it. So what I'm saying is although they are colluding with each other, even more frantically because they're losing finance to these debt services. At the same time, if we continue to sue them, they'll start separating because they will be the fall guy. Now, the key fall guy who this starts on the run is actually that employee that you think is a policeman. He's the fall guy for this. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you said don't even try to have an argument with him.
This is it's a sad thing for them, and I do sort of kind of feel for them because they give them no information, yet they make them take an oath to the Constitution. They do. When I was in a court with one of these employees, the question was asked because my writs was full of Constitution, and they thought that they was like pulling one on me. So the so-called prosecutor is asking their witness, their so-called witness, did you know the Constitution? Because my writ was full of constitutional law and the Constitution, right? So again, the Constitution? Yes, I. And the guy said, well, yes, I do. And when he said that, it's because they thought it was going to be a hindrance to me, right? When he said, yes, I do. I'm very much aware of the Constitution, and we have to take an oath to it. And I was like, you know about the Constitution? It's a big evil there. Because he just talk about putting your foot in it and sliding. He's still sliding.
But you know, this is not from nationality, the crown, which your nationality comes from political reasons. Sovereignty only comes with nationality. It doesn't stand on your own, so you're never no sovereign citizen. But it has nothing to do with commerce. Capturing it versus the two bonds, and that means that has to do with your body. That has to do with the simplicity of this is my brother saying I'm sorry. That's all.
Yeah.
He is this child here, Wilson Rice. I don't know. This name Wilson Rice. Whatever she calls him. No, I'm not saying it in all caps. So this is intended it to be written like that as a corporation. The hospital representatives and administration is set up so that whatever mother the child is, they're going to go somewhere and write it in all caps and create that sign, that certificate.
The only thing is that our lack of not knowing that means that we thought that like we think that no one right here. Here. And then people from my mother made the contract. Okay, now
you don't know jack about contracts.
Nor do you know jack about labor and delivery. You're not going to do that. The last thing you're thinking about after you're delivering a child. The last thing. That's why you got to have a competent partner to be on post after you have that child. Because they might come to you and say, hey, can you sign this and can you sign that? You got built up. You're stressed out. You just had a baby. What's the last thing you want to do? Try to have an intellectual conversation. Where do I sign? Okay, get away from me. I need some rest. So you have to have a competent son on post. At all times. Mother and child. That's why if you should go into these institutions, you should never, ever, ever leave your family member there. And we should be working on never going into those institutions because they're not there for our benefit. All right? They're there for the benefit of these modern Europeans. That's why all their charts are done on albino mice.
And that's why they want to continue to validate your children so they can do some tests. Genocide. And that's genocide. If you know what genocide is. But what I want to say is people think that the mother made a contract when she signed the birth certificate. I hear people saying she signs all the time. And then really when you think about it, you're sounding really silly. Why? Because you don't know what you're talking about because the contract is a mutual agreement with full disclosure.
That is not right. And your nationality cannot be sold. It cannot be sold. Because guess what? And this is why when people talk about, especially guys, I'm going to create a nation. No.
See,
about nationality.
Young sister, right? How old? You're the youngest. 17. She came here with the nation that's already in her womb. So how are you going to create a nation when she came with the nation in her womb? See, this is the thinking that must be removed from your mind.
And when you are talking about nationality and you proclaim your nationality, what you are doing in essence is honoring your mother. Because it is her that you came from. She came here with you, even you sons. You was in her womb, but you was a female. So, that wonderful miracle thing that nobody knows happened with one of her eggs and her womb, and Dad, the sperm, had jack shit to do with that.
3 weeks later, the son dies in 3 days.
The child isn't determined at inception.
No.
So what do you do with that? He provided that left chromosome, or he took that chromosome, or if you see that Y chromosome in there, that came from him. How did that get in there? How did it get in there when she came with it?
Exactly. But that's what she came with. Okay, look, we have to do this because this is the only way that we can understand our teachers. Honestly, get off of this teachers. Really, the teachers of the work has been indoctrinated throughout all the teachers. And so when we're talking about nationality, you're talking about your mother. You're talking about your nation. You're talking with the nation, so you're talking about your mother. That's who determines your nationality, not your father. That's law. That's law. That's international. Period. The condition of the child is based on the condition of the mother. That's the fact of law. So mother is not conscious or is not telling her nationality, then her children follow the Hebrew, not what he do. And they know. That's why they do hook up with the child support crap over. Because if she doesn't know who she is and she's not teaching it to her children, then she'll very easily go turn on them because she got mad at you about the child support thing. This is a scam. It's a damn scam. This is another way to keep the silence in jail on any given Friday. It's bull. Because really it's her child. When she has a baby, that's not his child, that's her child. You know a child is being born, which means you're siring a child, whether it's from your sperm or not, don't matter. If the sister is pregnant with a child and the child is coming into the nation, you are to support her. Period. Not to have arguments over whether you can have a word baby. No. No. It's not your baby. It's mine. How is your baby? When I know my home. How did I hurt you to say that's your thing? The baby is mine. It's the support of the new birth coming into the nation is yours. Everything. That's done. So this is what happened. So the new person comes. Is this in here, right? How long that school video from children? And why? Is 100% of the right? Okay. Yeah, see? So, how that that you forgot. No, seriously, this is logical, right? Now, for me, and I want to make sure all of you, your sisters here, and your young son, and you're going to pull up the picture for me? Okay. That's in the wall. What was it? But it's like, we're trying to compete with them. We're just trying to say, he got the destination, brothers. That's the nation. You are not going out to start a nation. It's a dishonor to a mother who came in with the nation. They did that. Does that make sense? She's going to do Solomon's temple, which is the soul of man, temple, which is the body. When the child born, after 7 stages of development in the water of his mother's womb, this is what makes you a navigator, the first navigator, because it's the first navigator. This is right home. And then hold on, I'll tell you that. They cut from the womb, from the neighbor, right? And then you're going to now be this L. Only one that got it. So there's nobody different. You. The covenant is this part right here. The covenant is the agreement. To do what? To bring the son to the you get it. It's gone. It's gone. You're going to pass that down to your children, and you ain't going to have no friends coming out here talking about my baby, and and all this other stuff like they're only taking off the concept of being a good nation, which is why we have a problem. It won't happen anymore when you get it. So, what's for the neighbor to become an everything else? Everybody, what you think you are, who you think you are, and think the truth that everybody does. So that one thing right there unifies us. It's a paying from your mother's womb. Honor that. And something is there, no one do that. But it don't make sense. We can't start from this truth. It's a simplified truth. It's so simplified that it shouldn't even be complicated, and there should be no argument, because there just shouldn't be no argument, because the son came, that's the miracle son. It's a miracle son, because he didn't get all, you took the breast, something in, took the vagina, pushed it out. Took a female egg and turned it into a male specimen, which is the miracle. That is the miracle son. Right there. And I know the plainest guy. That's it. That's all. So when you do that, when you know this, and then you let these child support industries or institutions talk to your son, because all it is my son. Everybody has on the sign of orders. My son. These are the secrets. What are the secrets about the mother and the son? What are the secrets about the mother and the son? Is that secret a secret? So they have no sign of orders, and you can't get the information out of there. It's just that's it. It's not complicated. So when you let some institution, and that is a corporation, tell you, son, your mothers, report your son. Because it doesn't matter how many wives he has. He was born a mother's son. His ass is going to die a mother's son. Some mother's son, right? You let them start telling you how to deal with your family. They even created a court called family court. Doesn't even exist. What is that? Oh, that's where the sisters, they be calling in the dads and report them because they didn't take care of their child yesterday. So we're going to arrest them. Really? Arrest them for that? And then you wonder what's up with your sons and where the men are and all that kind of stuff that you ask. And that's what happens. It's just a total disgusting mess. And unfortunately, but yet fortunately, it starts with the women, and they are the ones who have to fix it. Because no matter what you do, what we know, if she still continues to have these children and to report her baby and to report you, her son, or her sister's son, it don't matter, we're all family, right, to outside institutions, it's all for naught. But if she gets this and knows that as society starts with family, so does the authority to govern family, then it would be odorous. And that's what we have to apply to ourselves once we agree with family. Then we can agree with family. It's just like what Anna Eve did about what is the strategy about the DMV. You broke it all down, right? We worked on a conspiracy, right? Okay, you got that? Okay, good. Apply it. That's it. And that's all. And with that, what's up? It's yes, it's time to close. All right. We just want to give another hand to the sister, the mother, the etymology class, which is great for the children as well, learning how to read, meaning we're learning how to open up the book, the dictionary, and see what the words really mean, what's in the bracket, like that, instead of them telling you some other stuff. I do those classes, and for once a month he's going to be here. So next month is March, right? March 30th, and then April. Oh, I don't have the April. I got to get it. However, on March the 23rd, we are going to be great with Brother Mizrahi and doing a live class right here. How about that? Yeah, March the 23rd is the eve or the next day of the spring equinox. That's the new year, by the way. You have any comment about what you're going to be thinking about, or you just want to leave it like that? There's a mic right there. Want to hear from you, man.
So,
That's right.
yeah, definitely just what we're about. Moorish Heritage and History School. Last time I did a class here was last May. Since then, I've been through a lot. I've seen a bunch of different things that correlated with me in life. So I just want to share that with y'all because I never got to go back in on the class that I didn't finish.
Yeah.
But I've grown so much from there that I feel like I have to get this on record so that I'm not thinking with all these things because we could orally teach forever. You know, we do the blog talks week in and week out. But there's some things I can't just say to you. I have to show.
Yeah. All right.
So I'll be great to be able to do that.
So we'll have it over here projection.
For sure.
All right. Now, Brother Drew, he's been here since the inception, so I don't know what his comment is about or what his announcement is. I want to think. Now you don't tell me that.
Harry is a young fellow that's been coming here a couple of years. And I'm not mixing no name. Okay, couple of years. And I didn't know that any property around this corner. Around this corner. So we got pretty tight, pretty close to each other. And he got sick. Cancer all over his body. So this is one of the horses was I became a business lawyer. And we're going to stay your place. He said, I'll be going now. We ain't going to be going up to now like that. And that's what we did. This elder got him a business lawyer. And for a few months, with the paperwork, I produced registered to the court. He passed. You know, homes on yards. They shipped him. Lawrence said, I got good news. Just a couple days ago. He says, the paperwork's back. His family owns the house. And it was in foreclosure. Now, I would like to give you and my wife well, thank you. Because it's not important. That's all hard. It's not important. But stuff like taking these classes, think what they're trying to even sit around saying, right through the lips. That's right to your opinion. You know what you're doing. And don't go up that clock. Because it takes time. I'd rather go over the radar. No, it's like that. You don't get experience. But that comes with time and age. But just do what you can tell you. You'll never know. Thank you. Wow.
All right. So who's going to do the invocation now? You want to come? Brother. All right. See you next week.
Oh, and just make sure we're gonna we'll bring copies of these and bring them. What I was thinking from today, the article. Do you guys want a copy of it? Because we can bring. All right, we'll bring. I'll get some copies and bring it next week.
Are you going to read it?
Yes. Grounding.
Let's see what we have over there for 3 notes. All right? Constitution Treaty, and then we have a book that has the Constitution, the Treaty, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Makes sense. We got a lot of books over there. Check it out. This in there. One last thing. Hold on. I apologize. Anybody ready for the first time tonight? Anybody here? First time? Oh, all right. There's about 7 of them in there. Oh, sister right here. You're the first time here? And the young brother. Give it to be 2 first. To 2, then out there, his sister. Hold on, girl. We got one for you, but we just have to serve, we deal with the sister and children, mother and children. So they've been here first. She's been here first. We'll give you one if you have one left, so we'll give you another one. Now, over here on this side, raise your hands again. All right. Anybody else? Oh, over here. When you finish over there, we got a brother back here. That needs one. How many you got left? All right. I might have another one. Oh, for him. Him over there. Yeah. So, you're the first time here. Is this your first time here? Oh, no, it's not. But you know what? I'll give you a packet if you want one, all right? If I have another one back there. Now we're ready. Is this one? Is this like one? Yeah? Yes. Is this one on here? No.
Why don't you stick it in there?
Oh, okay.
You will.
You got it?
Islam. We are both engaged in the Moorish American prayer. Right on the left, two on the right. You got a 90 degree. Repeat. After me. Islam. Allah. Father of the universe.
Father,
the Father of love. Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Texas.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Allah is my protector. My night. And my night.
I did.
Was one brother. Ali.
Ali.
Amen. I think
All right.
I wasn't supposed to mess that up.